It's okay. Very good. How you doing, everybody? It's Paul here from Hairdressing Live. I am super thrilled. I have with me international educator, Davide Spinelli. Thank you very much for joining us, Davide.
Hi, thank you, Paul. Good to see you. Thank you for having me today.
It's very nice to actually speak to you again in person. Well, it's not in person, but I mean, this is as good as it gets at the moment, isn't it? I feel like I am talking to you in person. We've had many calls, but look, we're talking face to face now, which is good. Listen, Davide, tell our viewers a little bit about you and a little bit about your career and where it all started off.
Okay, I'm from south of Italy, in a region called Calabria. And I started my journey when I was 14 and a half. I started to go college, hairdressing college. Was working, I was in the college from 8 to 1 o'clock. Then in the afternoon, I was in a salon for 2-3 hours and, just assisting. That was in 1997, was almost 24 years ago. And I started there, was there for a couple of years. Then I finished the college and then I moved salon where I started to do some colors. And, that was my beginning. Be kind of a technician assistant kind of thing. Yep. And then I left south of Italy after 5 years. I was doing hairdressing and I moved to Florence. Florence is like central north of Italy. I was there as well 3 years where I was doing mostly colors and blow dries, styling in the salon. I was working for this big posh salon. But I wanted to be a complete hairdresser. I didn't want to just do color or just styling hair. I want to cut hair as well. But I wasn't really getting any training and that kind of prospect. It was more, it was more just working, making money for the business, but I wasn't progressing. Mm-hmm. Then, everybody was talking about London at the time. When it was about hair cutting, London was always coming up and say, if you want to learn how to cut hair, you need to go to London. And what's happened? I just decided I booked my flight to come over. Well, I remember I booked it. It was around August for the 4th of January to come. That was 2006. Would be 2006. And I couldn't speak English. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have a place to stay. I knew that I had to book, and I then to be serious, and then to come over. Then after a couple of months, I realized maybe I should go and see London before I moved there without never been before. And I asked some friends, they gave me numbers where to stay. And the girl was so kind that she gave me the number of this old Italian lady. She was renting rooms. And when I came over for 2 days by myself, again, I saw London. It was just a confirmation for me. I love this place. I love the bus. I love the red buses. And I spoke with this lady. I asked her, come in January, can I stay with you? And she said, yes, you can stay with me. Then that was sorted. Then another friend from south of Italy, she was telling me there's a cousin from Australia that was a hairdresser, was here in London. And she gave me the number. And I called this lady that she couldn't speak Italian. I couldn't speak English. And we kind of communicated in the beginning. She gave me a number of somebody where I went to for an interview, and the manager was Italian. That was my start in 2006. And from there, then a receptionist, I was very passionate, as you, I think, has come across about hair cutting. I was telling everybody I want to learn how to cut hair. And this receptionist, she moved to Daniel Galvin. And at the time, the late Joshua Galvin spoke to her. She spoke to him, actually. He said, oh, bring this kid over. And I had a meeting with Joshua Galvin that I didn't have a clue who he was. For who doesn't know who Joshua Galvin is, I'm sure you know, Paul.
Yeah, of course.
Joshua Galvin was, just to make understand, was the GM of Vidal Sassoon from 64 until 74, I think. And he was one of the first 2 assistants of Vidal himself. And you know, he was a huge influence to many people. But anyway, in this meeting, he said to me something. I said, oh, you know, I sent you to one of my juniors. I said, who? I said, what's the name? You know, I couldn't speak much English at that point. But he said, I sent you to Tony Rizzo. I said, okay. I don't have a clue who he is, but that's fine. And then he looked at me and said, if it doesn't work with this one, I sent you to another junior of mine, Trevor Sorby. I said, all right. Literally, he said these words. And anyway, he sent me to Tony Rizzo, to San Rizzo, where I had my first cutting training. After 6 months, Tony sent me on the floor, cutting hair on clients.
6 months?
That was 6 months. It was a bit crazy because I wasn't ready, to be honest. But he needed people. I could blow dry hair. You know, it was a nice bridge. You know, I could do a trim, but I couldn't really cut the hair. But I could make the hair look beautiful. And you know, in a glamour place like Chelsea, that's what a lot of clients look. Then you know, I could go by. But what's happened at the time? I wanted to do more training. And when I was in my time at San Rizzo, I spent 2 days a week, my day off, plus another day in the academy. And plus I was working 4 days in the salon. And all the Sundays, they were doing something, I was going there. And my first teacher at San Rizzo was a lady that is unbelievable hair cutter. She at the time, she just left Sassoon. It's called Leanne Brown. She was an educator at Sassoon from the 90s until early 2000s. Something 10, 12 years. She's absolutely brilliant. That was my luck in the beginning, you know, because straight away I got a great base. Even though, you know, I was just doing trims, and when I was going in the salon, when I started to work in the salon at San Rizzo, I wasn't really ready, but that was a good beginning. But after that, I wanted to improve. San Rizzo wasn't working for me. And a big name in 2008 was Hobbs. Hobbs, they just Hobbs Salons, they just opened their academy. And when I went to interview with one of the directors, I said to them, listen, I want to work for you, but only one condition. If I can come in your academy all the days off I have, you know, and carry on my training, because I know I'm not ready. And he said, yeah, of course, you can come as many times as you want. That's what I did. For 2 years, I was working in the salon as a stylist, but every minute I had off, I was in the academy getting more training. And but you know, in London, there was always a name coming up when you're looking at magazines, when you're looking at creative stuff, you look at something interesting. The name was always coming up was Trevor Sorby. And at the time, Angelo was his art director. And you know, since Mr. Joshua said, you know, my junior was Trevor Sorby, and then when you open a magazine, there is always something beautiful. It's Trevor Sorby, or it's Angelo, or it's somebody that worked for him. You know, it was always in the back of my mind, I wanted to work there. And after 4 years at Hobbs, working as well with as an educator there a little bit, but working as well with the art team and see what they were doing with the awards and the pictures, all that kind of thing. Open a bit of more that kind of world to me that I didn't know much about education before. Anyway, after 4 years, I tried to go work at Trevor Sorby. I did my couple of interviews. I had to do 5 haircuts. I passed that, but they said to me, listen, at the moment, we like you pass your test, but we don't have space. And then I was, okay, then why you made me do the test? But anyway, they said, we don't have space, you know, maybe next year. I went to find another job because I needed to work. And what I did every month, I sent them an email. Every month I sent an email until at one point, by chance, I just saw on the website, because I was checking their website all the time, that they had a vacation. You know, there was a place somewhere. And I mailed straight away the manager. She replied to me. I had to do another test, another interview, another test, this time with two models. And then I had to do the Vardering Trevor Sorby. That is 4 weeks where you need to do every day 3-4 models You need to find your own models. You need to do 3-4 haircuts a day, and then in the end you have the test with Trevor that checks 11 haircuts for you, 11 models. And that was my beginning at Trevor Sorby. And yeah, that's, sorry, I'm in.
No, you know what? That's a pretty outstanding journey you've taken there. And all three of which have been quite education driven. I mean, Tony Rizzo in Hob salons and Trevor Sorbet. Can I just what was it about the education for you that made you want to, like you mentioned there in Hob salons, I want to take this position, but only on the basis that I can go into the academy and train yourself up. What was it that was driving you to kind of keep training up? Did you not feel confident? Did you, what was?
No, because I knew, you see, in Italy, I worked in Italy for 8 years, but I never had the proper cutting training. Then I knew it was more about knowing my worth. You know, I knew that I could learn. That I never had the doubt that I could learn or I could improve. That was basic for me. I know I can do that, but I know as well what I can do. And I couldn't cut hair like Liane was doing, or like Akin was doing, or like anybody else at the academy in Hobbs or Sundays. You know, I couldn't do that. And you know, when I started to see in the magazine the work that Trevor Sorby was doing, I definitely couldn't do anything Angelo was doing, you know, and that's, you know, or anybody else at Trevor Sorby. Yeah. I couldn't do those things. That then, you know, I knew that I could learn, but I knew I couldn't do many things. Yeah, and you know, these things, because in Italy nobody ever taught me how to cut hair. They didn't want to teach me how to cut hair because I was making a lot of money with the colors. You know, that was why I always focused on cutting, because I wanted to achieve it. You know, even if you don't give me the opportunity, I create my own opportunity to learn and to learn that skill. And that's what it was. And yeah, I knew that I wasn't good enough. And you know, we were talking about ego. You know, it's not. You know, you need to be honest to yourself. You know, what you can do or what can you improve. If there is space for improvement, means that you need to work harder, or you need to work in a way that can improve yourself. That was my way.
I do believe, like, I mean, there's a difference between, you know, a young ego or a non-ego at young ages. I mean, I do believe that a young ego is almost like they've got closed doors, so many closed doors around themselves, that when they get asked to do something, they may say, no, I can't, or I can do that. Why do I need to do that? Why do I, you know, there's all these closed doors around them. You know, can you do, oh, no, I'm busy, or no, no, I'm busy. And there's so many doors get closed around them and no opportunities open for them. And yeah, like when you say, I want to go in on my days off and I want to learn as much as I possibly can, that shows that you are willing and open to learn. So people know when something comes up, I know Davide will come with me, you know? And there's one thing I do believe in, and actually it is Richard Manor. I'm not going to take these words as myself. Richard Manor, he's a global creative director for Joico right now. Lovely, lovely guy, old friend of mine. We used to stand on stage together. He always said this, which sometimes people can be taught, and you can teach a lot of people, but sometimes you absorb from others. And by working in very amazing establishments or with amazing hairdressers, you absorb from them, right? So maybe sometimes you don't get taught from them, but you just absorb their energy, whether it's their energy or their creativity, and you become, and you learn from those people. That's why it's always great to rub shoulders with some outstanding people, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I completely agree with you. You know, saying that, was the best thing about working at Trevor Sorby. Mm-hmm. You know, I like to believe, you know, that I'm Trevor Sorby, 100%. You know, everybody else gave me a good base to be able to go to Trevor Sorbie.
It's a building block.
Yeah.
Life is about building blocks.
I hope I give justice to the name Trevor Sorbie, you know, with my work, with my passion, with my vision, because that's where I feel closer. And the best thing about working there were the people, because everybody there, because it's so tough to work there. Because first of all, you know, they have very few salons, and now they have some more. But at the time, 8-9 years ago, they had two, 3 salons, and you know, because it's a small team, it's more difficult to get a job there, and everybody is so tough. You know, the process to get the job is so tough that everybody there is, first of all, there is everybody respect everyone, because everybody has to do it has to go through the same process. Then, you know, there is no somebody that is better than another. Everybody respect. It doesn't matter your level. Everybody gets the same treatment. And everybody's so passionate, because, you know, if you are not passionate, you don't finish those 6 weeks. You don't go, you know, you don't leave a good job to go and work there and start from bottom up, you know. And that's the best thing, because even though in the beginning, in the first few years, you don't really do much, but you see things. You see what people, how much effort they put, how they clean around this section, how creative they're trying to be, or, you know, whatever, you know, they all the effort they put in their job. But that's, as you said, you absorb from them, and automatically makes you better.
Listen, what did it mean to you working in Trevor Sorbet? Like, as in, what was your role there? Like a 2-part question here. What was your role, and what did it mean to you to be in that role and be, you know, working with those people?
To me, it meant, you know, may sound like a cliche, but meant the world. And I'm genuinely saying that, because the other reason why I went one of the reasons why I went to work at Trevor Sorbet, I wanted to work at Trevor Sorbet, is because all the hairdressers that at the time they were famous, or, you know, they were well known, or that I loved the work that they were producing, you know, they all came out from Trevor Sorbet. And we talk about Antoinette Pinders, Eugene, Angelo, and many others.
Antoinette Benders. I mean, there's so many.
You know, so many. And, you know, then I said, one of my philosophy, somebody taught me something a long time ago, is that if you want to be good, if you want to be good at something, you need to be if you want to be the best, you need to be with the best. You know, that was the way I tried to live my life. And meant to be the world, because it means I wanted to be good. And the Trevor Sorbet to me still represent me the pinnacle of good hairdressing, because it's not only about cutting hair, but it's about you know, a philosophy, how even the way you treat people, the way you know, everybody needs who deserve a chance, but as well, you know, it's about beauty. It's about making the model look beautiful. Even if you do something creative, it's not about just doing your creative thing. It's about beauty. And you know, that being part of that for me was something important. Answering your other question is, what's my role? I started as a stylist. Even though I left a good job where I was earning maybe 50,000 a year, I started as a stylist there, earning 16,000 a year. And I started just doing a few clients a day. And I slowly build up my clientele, and was promoted on level on the salon floor. But at the same time, as the same thing with when I went to Hob, I wanted to be an educator. I wanted to improve how to cut in hair. Again, I was bringing models in, and after a couple of years, I became an educator. I did there is an internal course that they do. When you're ready, you need to be ready. When they think you're ready, they bring you through a process that where you need to present all the haircut, all the techniques that they teach, and after you present them, you shadow them, and then after you shadow them, if they think you're ready, you start to teach with them, with the educators. And if otherwise you need to bring some more models or whatever. And I did that. I did presented the haircuts. Then I shadowed a few times, and then I start to teach. And that took another 13 weeks, something like that, 14, maybe a little bit more, around 15 weeks. I did that to become an educator. And then I started to teach the assistants. In the same times, at the time, Trevor decided to have a junior artistic team, or they used to, I don't know how they could call it now, but they used to call a art team too, because they had her team and then their team too. And I wanted to be in that team, and but at the time they already formed the second team, and there was no space. Then what I did at the time, Tom did something. Tom wanted to be what he is now. He wanted to be an art director, some, traveling the world and doing his own show. And what he did, even though at the time he was just an educator and was in their team, wasn't the art director. I'm talking about Tom Connell. He did on his own expense a night doing his own show. And to show Trevor that he was ready, and one day he would be ready to do what Trevor used to do, that it was one-man show. And Tom organized this thing where he did for mode, he did the shoot, all his own expenses. Yeah, he hired a theater kind of thing. He gave prosecco to everybody. Was quite a big.
Wow.
And when I saw Tom doing that, he inspired me, because he said, if this guy has been here 3-4 years and does that to show them that he can do it, then I need to do something, to show them that I can be in this art team too, as well. And I did on my own expenses a shoot where I did, I think 6-7 looks. Was all kind of avant-garde kind of looks. And the first look I did came quite well. Was the first shoot I ever done on my own. And I was the first shoot, the first shot came well. And then I become a little bit cocky, and I went back. I worked on another 6-7 looks, and was okay. Was the first shoot you ever do. I presented Trevor thinking, Trevor is going to say that he's amazing. Trevor look at it, okay, good effort, but that thanks to that, Trevor put me in the second art team.
Wow, very good.
And after that, slowly, I carry on teaching. I was with the second art team. We did few shoots. At the time, Tom, he wasn't the art director, but he looked after the second art team. And with Tom, we experimented. Tom was, he taught me a lot, and we been with him because we are similar. We were watching the same movies, listening to the same music, and having the same interest. And then that brought a lot of conversation, and being with Tom, and then being close to as well to the main art team with Jokery Brown. She was the art director at the time. She's an amazing hairdresser. She's absolutely wonderful. And then there was Tiziana Di Marcelli, that she is the international head of education for Trevor Sorby. She's responsible about everything about education. Being with these people, next to these people, start to develop me. And I did another couple of shoots by my own. And in the same time, Tiziana gave me a little bit more responsibilities with the education. Mm-hmm. Start to educate a little bit more and more and more. And I started to educate as well externals, people that would further. I become what I say a more senior educator. That took me for another couple of years. And then after a few years, Tom and Trevor, they decided that I was ready for the main art team, where I had to do like another show. And I did that. I went through their team, and then yeah, I was in their team. We did a few shoots, and after a year and a half, I think, on the team, I decided I needed a change, and I left Sorby, and then I wanted to focus more on education, and I left, and I started my own as a freelancer education. I decided to be a freelancer educator, and yeah, that was in 2020, January 2020. I went to Poland. I did 9 shows for a Polish manufacturer, from a Polish brand. And then after, COVID, after 2 months. Yeah, but anyway, that's, I don't know if I covered everything about my role at Sorby. I gradually, was a gradual kind of ladder where I had the opportunity to develop. It's been, these amazing people, like Tiziana taught me so much about education, and as well Ryan Forsyth. He's the head of education.
Another outstanding person, yeah.
He taught me as well. They taught me how to teach, and Tom taught me as well a lot about how to be creative in a way. But there is so much joy is amazing. And again, Tiziana, there is another guy that is not there anymore. He's in New York. There was a huge influence in my work. Is a guy called Adam Zabo. He used to be a toning guy in Budapest, and then he was an international team. But he's the most, maybe, or one of the most creative hairdresser you can ever see. Now he does a lot of editorials. He's with an agency in New York. But he was a huge, huge influence in me, because all these people, they show me that you can do more. There is so much more we can do in hairdressing. But as well, hairdressing, when we do a photo, when we do a creative image or an idea, it's not about showing off our skills. It's about do something different. That, to be honest, this is Trevor's philosophy. It's about creating something different, but it's not about using the skills to do it. You are not using the image to show off your skills. It's the other way around. I don't know if it makes sense.
No, it does indeed. It does indeed. I always believe what you just said there. I mean, I was lucky enough to collaborate with Tom Connell as well, but Tom is very much a thinker. He makes you think, in his delivery and his presentation. And I always think whenever you go and see his work, or there's a lot of thought process in what he, where he gets to the end result. I'm going to come to that in a few moments, actually. I would like to ask you as well, or even just to expand on, you have been nominated for several awards throughout your career. Outstanding, most prestigious awards. I could possibly mention British Hairdressing Awards. You've got the Big One Awards. You've got the Tribute Fellowship Award 2020 as well. So to enter those awards, it involves putting photography shoots, which you have just been talking about. Can you give any advice to anybody listening to this about how would you go about, how would somebody else go about putting together a photo shoot that they, would you storyboard it? Do you make people, do you have to, how do you go about doing that?
Okay, the first thing I think I recommend to everyone that wants to do a shoot is about, first of all, research, and preparation. You need to put a lot of time, I believe, in research, and research about what you find interesting. That can be in anything, in photography, art, can be in a fabric, can be in anything. But you need to research. You need to spend hours and hours, if not days, on your laptop or your phone researching, I believe. That is the main thing. And then after you have an idea of, you find some 20, 30, 40 things that you find interesting, that can be like Tom say, the cover of an album, or as I said, a fabric, or anything else, a light. In my case, one of the images that been the most inspiring for me was an image, actually was a painting. It's a painting by this artist called Lucio Fontana that I saw the first time in 1999 in New York. Watching an art show on TV. It's actually a red painting, in a red canvas, completely all red, with a cut in the middle. This guy was what he was doing was studying space. That was the name as well of my collection, my first successful collection, and that he was trying to create space and dimension in one canvas. That's why he was cut. He was pointing them, then he was cutting them. And from 1999, when I was 17, I was like, how can I do that on hair? It's been until 90. I started to experiment with it until 98, I think. Start to experiment with it. And then I had to work with it for over a year before it became something doable. Before I had the skills, and more the taste to do it on hair, But actually, let's say my most successful image is the one of the back, where actually there is like the canvas, there is a piece missing, and with blonde hair with blue shirt.
Beautiful image. Beautiful image.
That is I think I would say one of my best by day, my most successful. Why? Because why is that image is successful? Because there is somebody at Trevor Sorby, they taught me one thing. I don't remember who, but they taught me something. I mean, an image to be successful needs to be, first of all, different, original, and people, they don't have to know. They shouldn't know how it's done, and that's what they taught me. And that is going to your question. Then if you want to do something original, if you want to do an image, if you want to do a collection, aim always to do something different that you never seen before, something original, then try not to copy, and the third, try to do in a way that people wouldn't know how it's done. And that image, even though it's straightforward, because I just did a graduation in the middle of the head, but because it's on the back, because the shirt is the other way around, people weren't sure. A lot of people, how did you do that? Did you put extension? Did you put the hair under the shirt? And no, I just cut it. People didn't know. That's why that image for me is the most successful, because a lot of people, even better hairdressers than me, they were questioning how it was done. And, and again, if you are able to motivate people, if you make people asking questions with an image, I think that's the goal. That's what it is. Then aim, prepare, research, anything can inspire you. After you research, you have things interest you in front of you, then start to practice. And again, don't try to show off your skills. Use the skills for achieving a goal. you know, and aim what I just said, that those things I was saying, to be original, to do something completely different, never seen before, and to try to people to think how it's done. And that I think is my best suggestion I can give to people. And one thing important to do is, if you know, try to practice your ideas as much as you can, but as well try to be as much organized for the day. You know, try to have a good team around you, because, you know, one thing I learned from Adam, my friend from Sorbi, and that they work in fashion. The most successful fashion photographers and hairdresser in fashion, they work always with the same team. Yeah, and you know, if you see hairdresser and a photographer like David Sims, you know, that may be one of the top 5 in the world right now, or maybe even more, or Martin Marcus, they always work with the same hairdressers, the same makeup artists, and the same stylist, the same art director. Why? Because if you have a team, you know each other better. You know what needs to be done. You know the other person taste. You know how to communicate. Then try to create a team. Try to bring in your set people that can complement you. You know, is difficult to, especially if you don't have money to, you know, to invest. But try to find people you can collaborate. Try to do a lot of test shoots before investing thousand of pounds in a shoot.
I think what you said there, I mean, to underpin or draw a line under what you've just said there with the teams when they work with one another, I always think above it all, to underpin it, is you underscore it, shall I say, it's all to do with fun, right? You want to work with fun people, and it's networking. So when you network throughout your career, you build a collection of network with photographers, makeup artists, hairdressers, and you like working with those people, and it's a good vibe. And then that vibe continues. I mean, obviously it's got to, the hairdresser, the makeup artist, and the photographer needs to produce outstanding work. I completely agree with that. But almost it's a network of people that they like working with. And I do believe in everything that we do, even from assistant level right the way through onto the floor. You are a networking machine in hairdressing. You're networking to build clientele. You're putting yourself out there, you're marketing yourself to bring in a wider network of people, and you're constantly building. And whether that's in a creative environment or whether that's in the salon floor as well, I do believe it's all to do with relationship building.
Yeah, completely agreed. But you see, completely agree with what you're saying. The other thing as well, very important, when you do a shoot, even though it's a hairdressing shoot, it's not about you as a hairdresser. It's not about me. It's about taking, again, it's about creating something beautiful. You know, that's what it is. And if you, that's why it's important to have good people around you, or people that you go along with, because it's important to ask your team. You know, and it's not about who done the things. It's about asking your makeup artist, what do you think about that? Asking the photographer, asking your assistant, you know, or your mate, what do you think? Because sometimes when you are there, you focusing on doing your idea as a hairdresser, you don't see anything else. Then that's why you need your friend, your mates, people that you trust with their opinion. Even just because an assistant that's been on helping you, or you know, or even been in the background, can see more. You know, a makeup artist that done her job an hour ago, and now you've been doing the hair, and now you are shooting it, can see it from a different prospect. Then it's not about you; it's about the result. That's why I think is very important is important to have a good team. And that's, if you want to be successful, yeah, that those 3 things. You know, research. Preparation. Don't, and another thing important, don't do your pictures, we all want to win the awards. We all want to be successful and well known and making money and whatever. But don't make collection for the awards. Make it for you. Make it to create something beautiful. And that, if you do that, then you're going to win the awards. But something beautiful, preparation, something original. I think I said all the kind of ingredients I think you need.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head there, and that's great advice. That's brilliant advice. Listen, what advice? More advice here. What advice would you give somebody wanting to become an educator?
Okay. Education is what I like to create images and create things never seen before. That drives me, excites me. Doesn't make, because I need if I do the same thing all the time, I get bored, and then I want to change the country again, and wife, kid, you cannot do that all the time. And but I need to do creative. But the education is what I love most. But one thing with the education, before you start to educate, you need to be ready. Okay, what I mean with that, you need to do your basics. You need to practice a million times how to do one length bob, and not just practice just practice, because if you practice the same way, you're making the same mistakes a million times, you don't go anywhere. Okay, then you need to be critical with yourself every time you do a haircut, and learn inside out all the basics. Graduated bob, one length, short pixie haircut, round graduation or firefly, and what else are we missing? Yeah, graduations, some layering, and the strong haircuts. After you know these strong haircuts, then you can start to think about going to education. Yeah. One thing as well, if you want to become an educator, is we need to be honest about what is education. Okay, what is education? In my opinion, education is not about teaching someone or telling someone what to do, or be an educator. That's not about teaching. What about teaching is helping people, in my opinion, to reach their goals. That can be earning a living, be creative, be having a skill, anything they want to achieve, improve themselves. That's what it's about. You are there to do a job, to help that person to achieve their goals and to improve. That's what is education. If you are not aware of that, you go in with a different attitude. It's not about you, it's about the others. You can be disappointed. Then you need to really put a lot of effort in your training first, and then I believe you should go and work with somebody that you think is a great educator, or be around, like we were saying earlier, you need to be around people that you think they are amazing.
Yeah.
And but that's how I like to teach. If somebody calls me today, say, come and teach us, that's, for me, what I'm going to ask is why you want me to teach you, what you need, why your business, why you think in your business is it the right moment now to have education? What's the problem, if there is a problem? Are you bored? You want to see something different? There is a technique you don't understand?
Yeah.
It's about helping that business and that person, or everything. That's what I'm passionate about. It's not about me going there doing a cut. I'm a teacher. I'm teaching all the season. It's not about that. It's not about. I don't think there is a. People say there is 100 so many ways to cut the hair. No, there is one way to cut hair. It's well done. That's it. No million ways. There's one way. Then you can hold the scissors as you want. You can hold the comb as you want. You can take a section as you want. But you need to do it well. And geometry is that. You cannot change geometry. You cannot change elevation. no, there is, there is a lot of way of doing this, but it's one way to cut hair that is well, because we cannot change the geometry. Sorry, I'm very passionate about that.
No, it is. I mean, I always feel, when you go to see an Italian audience, the Italians are always very passionate about the hair. I love that. I mean, my background was working with Tony and Guy. They're an Italian family, so it was very much an Italian establishment when I was in London, lots of times working with the artistic team there. Look, can I, you had done 2 spectacular classes for Hairdressing Live. Can you tell us, again, there's like a couple of questions within this, but let me just ask them now. Why did you choose those specific looks, firstly? And tell me a little bit about the classes individually, about what people will learn from the class.
Okay. Okay, the classes is curly, technical hair.
Yeah, you did technical precision on curly, and then you did the precise salon wearable look.
Yeah. Okay. The curly look, I felt like there is a bit of a taboo on cutting curly hair, because people are quite, I don't want to use this word, but feels like a lot of hairdressers are scared about cutting curly hair. Curly hair is hair. And I just wanted to show that you don't have to be, you don't have to be creative to work on curly hair. You just need to use your techniques. And there's no a different hair. It's not a different way to cut it. Just need to use this all same precise techniques to create the shape you want to use. Just keeping in mind that because it's curly, the hair has a different reaction. And if you pull more, the hair springs up, and it will create more graduation. Will be shorter, but you can still be, you should. It's still quite. It's still a normal hair to cut, and I wanted to go through it and just show a good precise technique on curly hair. That's why I wanted to do it. Is actually is no scary hair. Is no something, you don't have to be a specialist, a curly specialist to do curly haircut, or to cut curly hair. You just need to know, again, your techniques.
Yeah.
You need to know one thing with curly hair that I think is very curly hair excites me in a way. Why? Because it's the only type of hair that actually shows you the technique you use. What I mean with that, for example, if you use a round layer technique, what's happening? You do this round shape, but then the gravity brings it down. And the hair, you create body and blah blah blah. You don't see the technique you used. Because the gravity brings the hair down. With curly hair, you cut it round, and the shape is going to stay there because the curly hair defeats gravity. Stays there. You create a nice round shape. Even with Afro hair, it's similar. Sorry. And the same thing if you create a graduation. In my class, I use a couple of techniques. So one on the back was more like a square graduation. What I mean with square was that I created a corner through the back, or still a graduation. You can see actually the shape of the graduation. Then when you look on the side, because we created a corner, it's a flatter. And then in the front we use a different technique. But you can see that kind of graduation. Then it's a flatter on the top, and more going up to the bottom. And that's what I think I wanted to show. I wanted to show about curly hair. That is quite simple hair to cut if you're just mindful when you cut it, that you need to be gentle, you need to cut with care, because if you will behave slightly different than a more straighter hair. But yeah, it's exciting if you think you can show the technique. You can see actually as a even if you shouldn't do things just for you, but when you get clients. But it's exciting for you to see that you are the creation that what the result of the technique you're using.
I think you're right. I think you're right in regards to there's a bit of a taboo with cutting curly hair, or can be a taboo around cutting curly hair, but it is an enjoyable hair texture to cut. Very much so. I love it myself. But you seem to have evolved it, changed it up a little bit, but also you captured something which is very, very salon friendly. And ultimately, for me, it's delivering classes that people can use. Not that they are going to see it, shelf it, and go, wow, that was amazing. That is such a wearable, beautiful shape that suits a wide variety of people. And I like it, and I love it. I love it.
That was, to be honest, that was the goal. I wasn't there again. I wasn't there to show off a crazy haircut or something cool you can do with curly hair that then you're never going to use it. I was just was more about education, it's about showing people you can use a technique. The technique is going to give you a result. It's a graduation. The graduation is going to look like that, but you can adapt it and you can change it. It was more focus on helping people to use to cut that type of hair.
Yeah.
And
very good. Equally as good, your precision wearable salon haircut. Again, it just echoes exactly what I've just said. It's a salon friendly technique, but very, very precise in what you did. I know it precise is in the word there, but it was. I mean, the way you took the diagonal back sectioning and elevated it directly out and created this nice movement going through the back into the graduation through the sides, or through the back of the hair, from the sides into the back, and left the pieces out through the bottom, which just kept that beautiful femininity look. I just thought it was outstanding. Really, really well done. Anyway, could you expand a little bit more about that?
Okay, the second look, as you wanted to do a look that was very technical. But again, I wanted to create something that was feminine that you can use in the salon, and still a little bit soft, and soft. And that's why, if you're going to watch the class, I'm going very deep on body position, on how to hold the fingers, on elevation, on the movement of the scissors, on the movement of the body, and that was my goal. I just wanted to do something super technical, but showing that you can be technical as well in the salon, create something soft and wearable. Not everything is super technical, super precise. It is to be hard and heavy, like creating heavy lines. Because you can be super technical, but still imprecise, but still creating something beautiful. And on the class, I mix a little bit of razor, I mix a little bit of texture, because what makes a haircut more wearable and softer, salon friendly? In my opinion, the softer the haircut is, the more salon friendly and beautiful is in a way on a person, and softer is, and you can create that just so using tools that could be point cutting, or a little bit of razor, or as I use a little bit of disconnection through the back just to leave some longer. But that was something I wanted to do. I wanted to create a salon friendly look, but I wanted to be still cool. That's why I left that little bit there. And I left there is connection on the top. That all these things, made, and using these tools as techniques and tools as razors. And I don't remember if I use as well some thinning scissors in the hair cutting. All these tools help to achieve that kind of wearable look. But you see, you can still, and I think in the salon world, you need to still precise. You still need to be technical, but combining all these things make a quite wearable look for all the clients.
Listen, Davide, I'm not going to keep you anymore. You were an absolutely outstanding, you had 2 outstanding, spectacular classes for us at Hairdressing Live. I'm so thrilled that we have them there on the website. They're ready to watch now for anybody that wants to watch them. Can I just, in closing, what next for Davide Spinelli?
Okay, now hopefully this is it's been the last lockdown. And I hope, at the moment I'm collaborating with an amazing company called Butchers, where I look after the education. Plus I'm still doing my own education. Mm-hmm. And hopefully, I can start to do that again properly and start to go in people's salons, hopefully traveling around the world and, and help anyone that likes my style, they need help wherever it is in the business and as their skills. That's what I want to do, and hopefully I will manage to do another collection and keep myself excited and happy in that kind of prospect. But yeah, that's I just want to start again and teach more and teach all the people that want some help and all of you listening to this conversation. And yeah, that's what is next to me. And then I think you need to be open to things happen to you. You put the work on, and then hopefully good things will come. Yeah. Finger crossed we won't have any more lockdowns. And
Well, can I just say, you keep doing those amazing photography shoots, keep doing them, and you keep producing some outstanding work and keep people educated. At the same time, I love your energy. I love everything about you. You're very, you're a humble guy. And I would love to keep in touch and, hopefully collaborate again.
Thank you so much.
In the not too distant future. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you,
Hairdressing
Live, and yourself for everything. Take care.
And thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you.